Warning, the following podcast does have an explicit tag, and we would hate to disappoint it. You're listening to Not Another Atheist Podcast, the ramble without a cause podcast that breaks down issues in the secular humanist community and tries each week to make sure that the explicit tag goes home satisfied and smoking a well-earned cigarette. I'm the polite Canadian Keith, and joining me as always is a New York born and bound bundle of attitude, Jen. Jen, thank you as always for joining me.
I'm tired. I'm decorating and I'm tired, and I didn't realize manual decorating takes so much energy.
Oh, honey. Yeah, it sounded so much better when Kelly did that. Never mind.
I know. We can't compete with her.
Well, no. How do you compete with somebody that is that just like
you just
loving
can't. You just
and lovely?
Absolutely fucking can't. Half the reason I go to a lot of conventions is just to see Callie, because I just love to hug her.
A lot of podcasters have said she gives the best hugs.
She's up there with I don't know how many of our listeners are familiar with Mandisa Thomas from Black Non-Atheist. I'm sorry, Black Non-Atheist. What the hell am I thinking? Oh my god.
You're not thinking.
I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Mandisa Thomas gives some of the best hugs I've ever had in my life.
Good to know.
I would follow her all day long just to have hugs given to me every 15 minutes by her. And she's another Queens girl.
Oh shit.
She's another Queens girl. We actually grew up maybe 10 minutes from each other, if that.
Well then.
And I just adore her, like, so much. Black non-believers, black non-atheists. The fuck was I thinking? Black non-believers.
Yes, non-atheists, they're a real thing now, apparently.
She's so gonna flip me the fuck out. She's gonna, like, scream at me.
Does she listen?
I don't know. But if I tell her I mentioned her and fucked up her organization's name, she's gonna yell at me.
Just come up and tell you what's what.
I love her, though. Like, she would do it in the nicest way possible and then give me a massive hug. And I would take it because I just love her hugs. I love her hugs.
You know, living in Canada, I feel like I miss out on a lot of these events.
You
and
do.
This love. And all the gangbangs.
Yeah, all the atheist orgies.
I feel like I miss out on a lot of those.
You do. You should come down for, like, major ones.
That means two things.
That means money?
No, you used it on... Never mind. Let's just carry on before I...
What? Oh, okay, fine. Dude, my cat is snoring, like, right next to me, and I'm like, oh, that sounds so awesome to do right now.
Don't you dare. We're in this together, damn it. Cat just looks like, what the fuck are you doing?
She's mad because the boyfriend's doing field time.
Oh, so she...
For the next 10 days, and my boyfriend is now her boyfriend. She adopted him.
Oh.
Yeah, she adopted
She
adopted the boyfriend, so she's been skulking around the house, totally pissed at me.
See,
like I did something.
It's so funny. So when the wife and I first got together, that's it. That's right. She's now officially like the wife, just because it's so much easier to say.
Yeah, I know. The future wife. Yeah, please.
It's easier to say.
Yeah.
When we first got together, at first, because the cat was so used to me having, like various friends over, and I had a couple of different girls over, she got really mad at me, and she'd get really possessive, and she'd do this thing where she'd like sit on this person's lap, and she would just look at me as if to say, "Fuck you gonna do about this, bruh?"
What are you gonna do about it now?
And then after they'd leave, she'd be kind of like, well, "You brought them over. What else was I supposed to do? Like,
what am I supposed to do?
This."
Yeah.
She has my cat is unbelievably dramatic. It's hilarious. We've had a couple of battle of wills with her, and she's literally pitted Ashley against me.
Oh my god, she's done it with AJ.
It's amazing how insanely intelligent these animals are. But anyways, so after a while, she started to really warm up to Ashley, and she actually liked Ashley and wouldn't get mad at me when she came over.
For having her over, right?
Which was great, and I was like, yay! And then Ashley warmed up to a cat, and I don't know if you know how Filipinos are with babies.
Yes.
Yeah, she's like that with this cat.
That's her baby.
Every time.
Well, no, like, he'll sit on the couch. And, like, I'll be walking across the room. And, she's deaf, but she can see just fine. She'll see me walk across the room and then slide from the top of the couch down and, like, plant herself either between his legs or right up against his leg. so that there's no buffer room for me, like, whatsoever. She's in the bed before I am.
Ooh.
Like, he'll lay down and I'll, because, I'm, like, anal retentive and I have to have things a very specific way to be comfortable to sleep. So I'll be, like, turning the fan on, making sure all the lights are off. And she's, like, already in bed. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, on my side. I'm like, the fuck are you doing? Get out. And her, she's old, so her hips are going, so you can't really push her out of the way because she can't get her bearings, so we just have to kind of, like, leave her there. She's still my old girl, though.
Yeah.
I still love this fucking cat to death. She hates me right now, though.
So, Ashley does to cats what she does to babies, which is, for those of you who don't know what Filipinos are like, they get really close and, like, put their hands on them and, like, oh my god, ah! Make a lot of weird noises, and the animals get, confused. Well, all of a sudden, the cat started to, like, get upset and would leave whenever she'd do this. And then she'd look at me as if to say, what did you bring into the house? And I'm like, this is what you get for loving something more than me.
She's fucking crazy.
And now that Ashley just still does that all the time, the cat loves me again.
She's like, she's fucking crazy. What the fuck did you bring in here?
Yeah, actually, it's hilarious how she sees that dynamic between the two of us. Like, she actually sees me as, like, the dominant one in the house. But I think it's mostly because size.
Well, AJ has this theory.
Okay.
That because I scoop Gizmo's shit, I am beneath her. Which is why she respects and loves him more, because he does not.
See, maybe that's her individually, because I scoop this cat's shit, and all she does is just, like, if she's mad at Ashley, she will go out of her way to make sure Ashley sees her cuddle with me.
Oh my god. No, but he thinks
hilarious.
It's because she watches me scoop her shit that she's like, fuck you, you're beneath me now because you scoop my shit, so I have no respect for you. She also hates me. She's hated me since I brought the kid home.
You brought a small thing.
She was my cat all through my pregnancy, before I got pregnant, and then when I brought him home, that was it. No. She will like anybody else, and she'll only come to me if nobody else is paying attention to her now, including the kid.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow.
That's vindictive.
It's because I scoop her shit.
Maybe. Well, I guess we've kind of stalled long enough. Now we should probably scoop into the shit. Oh, that was terrible. Never mind. Now we're just gonna segue horribly into.
That was fucking terrible.
What's outraging us today? So.
Oh God! Everything.
Some of you may have noticed that a lot of the women on your Facebook are posting a status that says "Me Too." Some of them are just posting those two words. Some of them are posting supportive messages. Are posting,
supportive messages. You can't fucking speak.
No, I thought I was about to say something else, and then it totally escaped me.
They've been also posting their stories.
Oh, that's the one. Yes.
Sexual assault and sexual harassment, and defining.
Man, I really have some editing to do.
What is assault and what is harassment, and the different levels of, violent degradation, victimization. There's another one in there I'm forgetting, just because it's late. But yeah.
So, if you've seen it and you're not sure what it's about, there you go. I mean, I'm sure when this episode releases on the Friday, we're recording this on the Monday, you've probably figured it out, or it's, maybe we've just stopped.
It's filtering through to you, yeah.
Hopefully you've seen it and you can appreciate, and I don't mean that in a good way, I mean understand the gravity of the situation that we're dealing with. Now, this was brought on, I think this is greatly brought on by what's been going on in Hollyweird, where a large what's his position? Is he an executive?
He's an executive. I think he's a producer. He is a producer too. Harvey Weinstein, who is a massive media mogul,
right?
Probably one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry.
And how he has gotten away with for decades the sexual exploitation.
And it was kind of It was definitely insider known, and I believe back in it was 2005, Courtney Love, who nobody ever takes seriously, actually, she was on a red carpet, And somebody had asked her, if you could let anyone know an insider secret, what would it be? And she said, if Harvey Weinstein invites you to a private party at the Four Seasons, don't go.
I'm sorry, what year was that she said that?
2005, I believe.
So 12 years later, and now something's happening. That's great. Before we go any further, if you see somebody posting one of these Me Too statuses and you're a guy and you have nothing to say that isn't supportive, fucking
or
move
a
on.
woman, or a woman too, because
Yeah,
I've seen
true.
many women attack each other over this too.
That's true.
If you are just somebody that has nothing constructive to say, if you think that a joke needs to be made, if you think you need to man-woman splain anything about another person's experience, please, and I am begging you to find the nearest cactus, pull your pants down, very assertively spread your ass cheeks, and please sit on it while you're deep throating a hot fucking poker.
Not just like it was in boiling water, as in it's still red from being pulled out of embers.
Out of the fire. This is not your moment to shine. This is not your moment to push your agenda. This would be the same as telling a victim of a robbery or a victim of child abuse what you think of their situation. These are still victims of crimes. Very personal, very degrading crimes. So please kindly keep your shit-filled cock holster to yourself enclosed.
Good. I think we may have made a point on that one. I hope you did. I hope people understand that this is
just a wee bit.
This is not something you can just make light of because you have an inappropriate sense of humor. There are real consequences.
Admit anybody that's on my Facebook has seen that, yes, it is Me Too, and it wasn't just once. Countless. And I remember sitting back and thinking about it, and it was a lot of it was what people call micro assaults or microaggression, is the being rubbed up against on the subway or grabbed in a club or sent a dick pic. I mean, that's
unsolicited dick pic.
Unsolicited dick pic. I have had so many of those, and then if it wasn't for my sister and an iron, I would have been a rape victim at 15. And I was married to a man for 8 years who had no respect for my sexual boundaries, and while he didn't pin me down or not take no for an answer, his way of assault was coercion, was manipulation, was gaslighting, to get me to do things sexually I was not comfortable with, or get me to give in to his advances when I didn't want to. And that too is assault. That is sexual assault. So here's my story. If anybody else wants to reach out and tell theirs, by all means. But
we will listen.
Harvey Weinstein has been known for decades, and I mean decades. We're talking 40. He's been in the biz for 40 years here. Has been known, and it's been known a long time, to assault women, to... I don't want to throw out a rape allegation.
I think Rose McGowan did say he did.
Right.
So there are allegations against him that are starting to fly.
Using his... And the man had immense power in the industry. Immense power. He can make or break anybody, using his power to get women to sleep with him, to get women to shut up about the assaults. And sadly, this is more common than not in the industry when it comes to not only women but younger children. It's now a problem that is starting to be talked about after, as long as the entertainment industry's been around, it's been happening. So, 100 years at this point. But this is not uncommon, and it is not uncommon for women to be told to either hit the casting couch or hit the bricks. And it's not uncommon for women to be coerced into, if you sleep with me, I'll give you a career and I'll make you a star. And they tend to take people from very, kind of naive and small towns, and they'll sleep with them and then coerce them to do things they don't want to do on these promises and gaslighting, and everybody does it, or they'll just take it. They'll slip drugs in their drinks. They'll just grab just grab them, and then it's, look at all this money and power I have, who's going to believe you? And that was more Harvey Weinstein's MO, was, okay, say what the fuck you want, I'll blackball you, and who the fuck's going to believe you? And I mean, this is coming, I worked in the industry for a long time, and it's something that I wish I was able to speak out about more. But, you know, I mean, I came from the era pre-2005 when nobody was able to talk about it and everybody was afraid to, because women were still kind of seen as way less back then than they are now. But what this man does is despicable, and it makes him no different than Bill Cosby. It makes him no different than any other predator in the entertainment industry. None. And I don't want to hear the mansplaining and the victim shaming of, well, they know this happens in the business and they didn't have to go to the hotel room, and shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Because
it's manipulation.
That's manipulation. And when you're a young kid or you're a young woman or a young man and somebody's dangling this dream in front of your face, you get blinded. I mean, it's human nature to want to program your way of thinking to think the best. So don't fucking sit here and tell me this shit. Don't. No amount of power and no. I can walk in a Harvey Weinstein's room at the Four Seasons naked and still not ask to be touched or assaulted or degraded or raped.
Yeah, guys, if you can't control yourself and you see a naked woman, you should probably go sign yourself up for, I don't know, prison. Or just never leave your fucking house.
Or at least institutionalized so that we don't have to deal with you. And you know, I'm seeing a lot of the victim blaming again.
There's always going to be, because we have shitlords everywhere.
And you know, it's we're missing the point of, don't teach your daughters not to be alone in the room with strange men. Start teaching your sons how not to be fucking rapists.
That's pretty much all there fucking is right there.
That's what it is. Don't fucking sit here and tell. I'm raising a son, so, and he's my only one, so I don't know what raising a girl is like, but I am a girl, so it's weird. But I don't teach my son that clothes are bad or clothes mean something. Like, you know, every kid kind of goes through they don't know where's an appropriate place to put their hand.
That's true. They
don't
understand those
they
boundaries.
just kinda, you gotta teach him that shit. You know what I mean? And you know, like he's done it, like not thinking, but like hand up a dress, like his hands were, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. Or
like not thinking up a shirt, or he's got a thing. He loves playing with my boyfriend's leg hair. Like he like pets it. It's the weirdest thing. But like he'll absentmindedly, like his hand will travel up, and we're like, no. And we're teaching him. Everyone here in this house is teaching him. You can only touch people in any way when they say it's okay to. And I've had a rule since he was old enough to be aware of it, that if he doesn't want to kiss somebody, if he doesn't want to give them a hug,
he doesn't have to.
He doesn't have to, because that's his body. And the easiest way to teach kids anything is through their own experience.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So I want him to know self-respect for other people's bodies through his own. We very much teach, you are not entitled to anybody else at any time, and nobody is entitled to you. Not, she was wearing a skirt, she wants something.
That's pretty much all there is to it.
Stop raising your kids to be entitled shitty ass rapists and sexual assaulters. And I mean, there are some people with a, how can I put this? Not that they feel entitled, but they have a genuine mental compulsion to do shit like this. And for those people, I understand that there is a stigma, and a massive one at that. But I'm going to give a call out to say, please get help for that. Because even though you may hate what you're going through, please try to understand how much the person you've done it to winds up hating themselves and blaming themselves too. Find a good doctor, and HIP is a real thing. I understand the stigma, but please get help.
Sorry, what was it called?
HIPAA. It's the laws and bylaws of medical information here. I can't remember the full fucking
No,
name of
I
it.
was meaning that. Sorry, I thought that was the name of the condition.
No. It's, HIPAA is very much a real thing, and people cannot, unless you are a danger to yourself or others, only you and your doctor need to know what's going on. So please get help. Please get help and stop raising kids to be shitty ass rapists, and stop telling your daughters that their bodies are criminal.
Oh, and one more thing. Enough
And
with the boys will be boys thing.
Enticing and sinful, and
yes,
you show a little bit of your skirt's halfway, a little bit above your knee, so you're enticing men.
Oh man, Jen, let me tell you, I see a knee and I get greased right up on the spot. That's what it does.
Oh, it's all about the shoulders, because tank tops are banned.
Oh, don't even get me
All
started.
about the shoulders.
God, have you even seen a woman's jawline? So enticing.
I got a sexy jawline. I don't want to hear that shit.
Okay, normally I don't record with my
fuck.
fiance sitting in the room, but she's looking over at me and the weird noises I just made, and it's hilarious because she has no.
Welcome to the fucking insanity, Ashley.
Yeah. So, needless to say, it's not a matter of boys will be boys. It's a matter of raise your children to understand that there are fucking boundaries and they are not entitled
If
to
I hear
another
somebody
person's
tell
human
me
body.
boys will be boys, I am going to punch them in their boy dick. And just go, boys will be boys. Just like if you try to mansplain any type of, and it takes fucking bravery to a victim to even admit that they're a victim. If you try to mansplain this shit, I will man punch you in the dick.
In the dick.
In the dick. Not the balls. The dick itself.
And it's not just the dick. It's TH apostrophe dick. The dick.
Yeah, the dick. I will man punch you in the dick.
So, point made. So this is kind of opening up a lot of floodgates. Oh, and before I do move on to that one, I have another miniature rant I need to go on this fucking topic because there's something that's really pissed me off. Is, in some of the circles I run in, there are people who are so dogmatically against the left.
Inclined.
No, they're so dogmatically anti anything left that anything to do with specific people, i.e. Hollywood, they are just absolute shitholes about. So, for example, something that I had heard, and I'd rather not disclose my relationship to this individual, was how much they love that this is happening in Hollywood and that it is now crumbling and falling apart. And I'm sorry, you have to be a special kind of fucking psychopath in order to think that the repeated sexual assault of human beings just trying to make a goddamn living.
Saying they're enjoying it.
Yeah. It takes a special kind of horrible, detached from humanity type person to find any sort of joy in this except for this type of behavior being brought out.
How do you get joy at the victimization of other people?
Yeah, you put it better than I did. Apparently I'm not braining good on this Monday. So now that this is opening up the floodgates, we're having a lot more claims come forward, allegations come forward against other actors. For example, Ben Affleck has been thrown under the bus.
Really?
Oh, didn't you hear about this? Yeah, Rose McGowan got a 12-hour ban from Twitter because she said, "Fuck you, Ben Affleck."
Interesting. See, I've kind of been half following stuff, but I have been well aware of Harvey Weinstein and his bullshit for a very long time.
Oh, it's been a well-known Hollywood secret. In fact, part of the reason why McGowan called out Ben Affleck is because she had confessed to him that this had happened to her in the past. And when she told Affleck that Weinstein raped her, he said, "God damn it, I told him not to do that." I'm amazed you didn't hear this. Like, you spend more time learning about what's going on in the world than I do. And
I had a child home for an entire week for fall break. That's my excuse, yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Right after his birthday with all his new birthday gifts.
All the loud, noisy, and smelly ones.
Yes. Well, no, the smelly ones there is but okay.
Well, you never know. I guess when I was a kid, that's when we had the smelly things. Oh, well. Anyways. So basically, if you know that this is going on, don't just tell the fucking person not to do it again.
Hey, rapists, don't rape people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not really effective.
And Affleck was like the protege for Weinstein for so many years.
For so many years.
Weinstein is very important in the progression of Affleck's career. And even Ben Affleck's brother, Casey Affleck, has had allegations put forth against him. And now allegations are coming out against Affleck. For example, there was a video of him just copping a feel of a girl. And then acting like it was the coolest thing you could do because he was in his early 20s and still very much in tune with the frat boy mentality.
And I'm fucking Ben Affleck.
I know, and I liked that song. I know. And now, by being an asshole, he's gone and tainted it. Like, just can't.
I know Casey had allegations of sexual assault against him too. I'm not entirely sure how that turned out or if that's progressed any further.
You know, listeners, if you want, just let us know. Tell us what you know. We'll share it. And Weinstein himself has been, it's been known for years.
But he's been such a cocky fucking asshole about this shit.
Like most men in his position who are fucking butt ugly, without this money and this power, their attitudes.
Right.
Without the...
It's kind of like... And I hate to sound like such a pretentious bitch about this, but it's like people whose egos didn't match their IQ scores constantly go on about how unimportant an IQ score is.
Well, yeah, because it's not relevant to them.
Right. But he's shocked that he got pulled off the Academy Awards panel. He's shocked that he's losing his company, and he's like, what? I didn't do anything wrong. Like, wow. Well,
it's like Trump and his whole, you just grab him by the pussy. He doesn't think he did anything wrong. His followers.
And there's another powerful entertainment mogul who sexually
use the word
takes advantage of
entertainment
women
loosely when we talk about him.
No, if you want to give Trump one thing, he's entertaining as shit.
Yeah, the problem is, though, is that nowadays it's not just like, oh my god, that man's an idiot. Now it's like, oh my god, what is
holy shit, he's gonna get us nuked
in the world?
Holy shit, he's gonna get us nuked. Okay.
Yeah, one of my favorite jokes about him was, he tried to insult the leader of his number one enemy by giving him a cool nickname. When he called Kim Jong-un Rocket Man.
Rocket Man. All I could picture is Kim Jong-un singing Rocket Man by Elton John every time he says it.
No, I don't think I could do that.
That's all I can think of is him singing Rocket Man by Elton John now. Every time I hear it.
I'd say we're Matt Parker and Trey Stone when you need them, but they're busy being edgelords.
Yes.
That's another topic, and we're not going to go into that one, because...
not tonight.
We've already got enough shitlords and edgelords on our fucking bucket list to deal with. Sorry, everybody. This is not going to be the most entertaining episode.
This one's going to be a little hard to follow tonight.
Yeah. So, we've dealt with rape apologists.
Yes.
We've dealt with...
Shitty parents.
Shitty parents. We've
victimizations.
Talked about exploitation.
Victim blaming.
Yeah.
Victim blaming.
Well, I guess that kind of sounds like our next topic, Mythicist Milwaukee. And the YouTube Skeptics and Atheists Convention.
That was such a flaming hot pile of shit.
I know, didn't Matt Dillahunty back out of that?
Mm-hmm.
See, he backed out. Seth Anders backed out after there was a lot of backlash against him. Because for those of you who don't know, and believe me when I say I genuinely envy you for not being aware of this shit show going on, there was a conference called Mythicist Milwaukee where they invited a whole shit ton of the worst of the YouTube skeptics and atheists. There was Sargon of Akkad,
the fucking worst. Like, the absolute dregs of the fucking
people
atheist community.
If they've just focused on, their YouTube atheism and tried to stay out of social justice because they have
They
genuinely
wouldn't
nothing
be
to add.
half bad.
They would not be half bad. You know, like one of my, when I was, on my progression towards full-blown atheism, Jacqueline Glenn was the one I watched. And
Right.
I don't like her takes on feminism. I tend to disagree with her a lot on that because she kind of takes more of that hardline, edgy
Misandrist.
stance. Yeah, and there are times, like when she does a lot of those drama videos, I'm like, okay, I'm not watching this.
I can't handle it.
And
like, I am a feminist, but I fucking hate misandrists. Like, I fucking hate misandrists.
And now she is, now she's kind of retreated from that, and she's focusing more on this project she's working on, where she kind of goes into crystal healings and psychics and Wiccans and all that.
Which is
a really interesting thing to see. I encourage you to check it out. It's called A Skeptic's Guide to Wellness, which I hope she can realize that it sounds a lot like her friend Cara Santamaria's show. Well, a show her friend is on, Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, which is from what the hell's it? The hell's the show that it's taken from? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they got their name from. Anyways, I dilly-dallied on that one.
We're both having off nights, ladies and gentlemen. We're tired as shit.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. But anyways, so these are people who they know that their fan base, they can fire them up. Sargon, now I don't know the entire context, but he made a joke about some woman who had been raped, and he's like, I don't get it, I wouldn't rape you, because she wasn't attractive enough. And Thomas Smith of Serious Inquiries Only, God, I really suck with the English tonight, of Serious Inquiries Only, Opening Arguments, Lot Awful Movies. He did the Thomas and the Bible podcast, which is now done because he got through the entire thing. The man did a lot of podcasts and does a lot of podcasts. He did a debate with Sargon, and he actually walked off stage.
He walked off, yeah.
Because when this was brought up, Sargon sat back and let his fans go to town. Sargon.
He had nothing of his own to say.
And then, apparently later on that evening, Tom from Cognitive Dissonance, he and his girlfriend were in town at the bar where they were all at. And Tom called him out on the fact that, these people are only edgelords on the internet when they have to be face-to-face with people who can genuinely call them out.
They can't hold their
nothing
own
to say. Because they know they're assholes. They know they're
and they know they're
provocateurs.
assed out. And they know that they don't actually. And I flipped through a few of these. These tended to be. I knew their reputations beforehand, so it was something that I was like, you know what? Excuse me. It's like reading the Red Pill subreddit. Like, I just can't do it without severe mental preparation before I go into that. So I kind of caught shit clips here and there, and I'm like.
Well,
no, none of these people are actually saying anything. It's a bunch of buzzwords.
Well, part of why you only caught clips from... oh, Jesus Christ. I restarted a connection and now I can hear myself echo.
I was going to say that's pretty bad.
Okay, there we go. I fixed it.
But it's pretty much as far as I can tolerate without wanting to.
Well, part of the reason why there's only small clips from the Mythicist Milwaukee thing is because now they're charging for it.
Yes. They're profiting off of a metric fuck ton of hate and victimization.
Oh, and by the way, when Tom called out Sargon at the bar, he basically called him an asshole and then was himself asked to leave, so...
Yeah.
Anyways, that's how I wanted to wrap that story up.
Yeah.
Before I got distracted.
But it's a bunch of fucking podcasters who use a bunch of fucking buzzwords to be bro douches. Essentially, bro douches in the atheist community. And excuse me, they'll attack women, they'll attack any form of minority that they think is going to get them views. And then we found out when it came down to being face to face and it came down to actually defending their views, they couldn't.
Well, no, because they got all scared because they had to actually look people in the eye and be like, oh, by the way, I am this big of an asshole.
not only did they get scared, but their entire careers are based on, like I said, buzzwords and inflammatory statements and it's shit that riles people up. So when they were asked to go in depth, they did not have any. They had no depth to them whatsoever. Well, this was like a giant fucking red pill convention is what it was.
It's essentially, and it's all people who are supposedly skeptics, and they're going, Paul, I'm just being skeptical. Well, I'm gonna be honest here. My path to this whole atheism thing is what spurned my love. It helped reignite my love for science and scientific skepticism, and has really kind of helped propel me to a lot of where and who I am today. However, I've really distanced myself from a lot of the skeptic community because you see it even in our secular groups. People are just assholes for the sake of assholes and being provocative because they think it's funny. And I'm sorry, if you think that your ability to make a provocative statement for the sake of being provocative is somehow adding to the conversation, you're a fucking idiot. You are literally bringing nothing of substance.
There was something I had to learn a very hard lesson on into my full acceptance that I was an atheist, and that was we're a lot like our religious counterparts. Sometimes there are good people. A belief doesn't make you any less of an asshole.
No, it doesn't.
It's the only thing that we have in common is the lack of belief in any kind of gods or higher being. Excuse me. That's the only thing that we have in common. Some of us, and naturally, you come into a community and you're going to find people that think like you, and you're going to find people that don't. Being an atheist does not make you an automatic superior being. And I know I'm going to get my ass to the flames for this, but it doesn't. All being an atheist is a lack of beliefs in a higher being or gods or whatever the fuck you want to call them. It does not automatically make us any better than anyone who has any kind of faith. There are complete assholes. There are racists. There are misandrous. There's misogynists. There's child abusers. There's child molesters in the atheist community. We are no different than any other faith-based community except in the fact that we don't believe in a higher power. Being an atheist does not make you a better person. It does not make you a smarter person. It does not make you a superior person.
Can I get an amen?
Your lack of belief in a god does not make you any fucking better than the asshole living next door to you who goes to church every Sunday.
And that's the bottom line. And
just as much as him standing in a church doesn't make his ass a Christian. You not believing in a god does not make you a superior person. And if you think you are higher than or smarter than or superior, more superior than somebody of faith base, then guess what? You're one of the assholes we're talking about right now. You are an asshole of the atheist community. You are not better than anyone because of your lack of a belief in a god. If you sit here and honestly think that being an atheist automatically makes you a smarter or better person than anyone of faith, just based on the fact that you're an atheist alone, congratulations, you're one of the assholes we're talking about right now.
And you are no better than the people you critique.
Thank you.
The final thought that I want to add to this, just because I know before I got into the atheism movement, there was a lot of discussion about like the Atheist Plus thing, I think it was called, where that was where they got into, the social justice issues and the LGBTQ community and all that. And there was a lot of debate as to
where it started merging with other groups.
Yeah, and now it's, tapered out and whatnot. And the atheist movement is not... It's literally like what you said, Jen. It's all it is the one thing that we can all take, as our common denominator, is that lack of belief.
Right.
Does not make us better. Doesn't make us worse unless we think it makes us better.
Or if we act like a worse person than somebody who is a genuinely fucking better person than you, whether or not they believe in a god.
Absolutely.
But like, I know atheists that fly Confederate flags. I know atheists that still believe homosexuality is wrong. I know atheists that believe transgenderism is wrong. I know atheists that still believe that women are the weaker sex biologically and should be subservient to men.
There are atheist misogynists.
There are atheist misogynists. There are atheist misandrists. There are atheists that enjoy victimizing sexual assault victims and think it's funny. Sargon.
Yeah, and by the way, he's a grown-ass man. Why the hell does he go by
Sargon.
that name?
He's one of those people that, excuse me, when I really started coming into the atheist community, I was tipped off on my radar, and it took me all of 0.5 seconds to be like, yeah, this guy probably has a 2.5-inch dick that hasn't seen the light of day in probably 15 years. Well then. And I don't give a shit. Let him fucking talk. He was against to talk shit about me. Please, whatever. But what baffles me is that there was an entire conference or convention or whatever you want to call it that people made money off of people that victimize other people.
And people who
legitimately, and then people paid for it. Like, you actively contributed to rape culture and racism and misandrist and misogynist, and you monetarily contributed to this. And I understand wanting to see the debate with Tom because that was awesome, but
Thomas is one of the only ones who went with the sole purpose of challenging the bad ideas. Like Tom on his show Serious Inquiries Only, formerly known as Atheistically Speaking, he's always done that. He's tried to be what Paul Rubin cannot be. Right. He's tried
I respect the fucking hell out of him for after when everyone dropped out, he stayed.
Well, I think he considered dropping out as everybody else was.
He did.
Like he went in. He openly admitted it, for him it was very hard for him to continue to do because he knew that if he brought his voice, then he ran the risk of legitimizing their opinions, and I can understand.
Right. And you can understand
that concern. However, the fact that he went in and he actually did walk off stage when Sargon, sat there masturbating while his hyena pack around him masturbated all over, a joke about a woman who was raped. He walked off, and it's one of the few clips that's made its way out is of the look on Thomas's face when he says, "How do you what is wrong? Like, you think that's okay?" And he just went, "Yeah." And Thomas was literally, his jaw hit the floor. Like, I'm pretty sure we could feel
like he had that light bulb moment. Like, and we've all been there when we're trying to discuss something with somebody who has a completely differing opinion than us, and we're trying to understand their point of view, and they're what I call pigeoning around the chessboard. They're kind of just knocking the pieces around and puffing their chest out, but they're really not doing anything. You all have that light bulb moment with people like that. Like, it doesn't matter what the fuck I say or do, it's not getting through.
Yep.
And I felt for Tom because he was really trying. He was really trying to kind of have this open discussion and debate, and he really was trying, and he held his cool fucking far longer than I ever would have. Mm-hmm. And he handled it in a much more mature way than I would have, because I probably would have kicked this motherfucker in the face at that point and then walked off.
It's for the best that it was somebody like him.
It really is for the best that it was somebody that's as collected as Tom is. And like, there is a whole group of organizers that looked at this panel and was like, yes, we want to make money off of this.
And if your idea of promoting the idea of free speech is to hear the other side, you have to understand that hearing the other side is giving them a platform. And while I am totally pro free speech, I am also pro calling out shitheads and not giving them a fucking platform.
And I am
shame them
one of the strongest supporters of free speech. On the other hand, I am for giving someone whatever fucking platform they want to spew their shit on, but they better be prepared for the favor to be extended to the opposite side.
And it's always funny how people who demand free speech are always the first to get upset when it comes back to bite them in the ass.
Right. And this is how you know we have a problem with rape culture and marginalizing minorities in this country, when a group of organizers can get together and decide that making money off of people that repeatedly victimize victims is a good idea, and then they sell tickets.
They sell tickets, and now they're selling videos.
And
yes, I'm aware they did some sort of a run where they raised $12,000, but I don't know what they're planning on doing with it.
Yeah, I don't know what they're planning on doing with it, because I actually absolutely lost all respect for anything that had to do with it. But if you're going to tell me that we don't have a problem with this country, I can point you to at minimum $12,000 of
evidence.
Something complete, yeah, of $12,000 of evidence. People paid and supported to see people that repeatedly victimize victims of sexual assault and demoralize minorities. They paid to not only support them, but to idolize them in person. So don't fucking sit here and tell me, especially within the atheist community, that we don't have a fucking problem. Because we do. And like I said, we're not going to all collectively think the same and all have the same morals and all fight for the same causes. Because that would be fucking boring. That would be fucking boring. We pride ourselves on being free thinkers and skeptics. So we don't want to think like the hive mentality. But understand that being a skeptic and a free thinker means you're going to run into people who you do not agree with, and you're going to run into people with despicable fucking points of view. Because of the fact that we broke from the hive mentality. And I'm going to call other members of our community, not by name, but from what I've seen, that they are casting these people out of the atheist community and saying they're not real humanists and not real atheists. Well, not all atheists claim to be humanists. You don't have to be a humanist to be an atheist. But don't fucking sit here on both sides. On both sides, this goes for the shit and the good. Don't fucking sit here and tell me you're a superior being for not following this hive mentality and this collective one thought way of thinking, and then you're going to sit there and try to ostracize somebody who disagrees with you out of the community. Don't do it. And this is not to defend anything that happened or anyone that showed up to that fucking convention, because that convention was a hot pile of steaming fucking shit, and it was nothing but a parade of repeated victimization. It was despicable, and their panel, almost nearly everybody on that fucking panel was absolutely disgusting. And I'm not saying this because there's one thing that I don't agree with that they think of. They have repeatedly proven their distaste for other human beings, and because of that, I think they are disgusting people. That's my personal opinion. Am I better than them? To me, yes. But I am not better than them because I am an atheist. I'm better than them because I have an ounce of fucking empathy and compassion. But don't sit here and try to form this, and this goes on, the atheist plus whatever. Don't fucking sit here and try to form this hive mentality when you turn around and say you're better for not thinking that way.
So on that cheerful note, I think we've pretty well beat both of those topics right the fuck to death.
Yeah.
And we've probably made you laugh a lot less with a lot fewer dick jokes than we normally do, so...
No, this needed to be a serious one tonight, because I will not joke about sexual assault victims, and I will not joke about people who perpetuate rape culture. I won't joke about it. I won't. This was not meant to be a lighthearted show tonight. This was meant to call attention to the very, very real shit that's going on. Not only in the atheist community, but around the fucking country.
We'll be back next episodes with some dick jokes to...
Yeah, well, I promise I'll make it a lighter one. I'll find some funny shit to go after. Maybe we'll have AJ on again.
I hope so.
He seems to lighten the mood.
I miss him.
He seems to lighten the mood.
So pretty.
I know you do. I miss him too. I miss him right now.
Jen's gonna go miss AJ, and I'm gonna go miss
I'm
AJ
so funny. What the fuck is wrong with me? Like, this is not me, dude. Like, ugh. What the fuck?
Alright, enough of your wallowing in sweat. Self-pity over this. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Jen, thank you for bringing your A game.
Thank you. Yeah. My atheist plus game. Yeah.
Your A plus game.
My A plus game.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
The Not Another Atheist podcast experience is run by Jen and Keith. If you wish to contact the hosts, please write to nehehp@gmail.com. They can be found at facebook.com/NotAnotherAtheistPodcast, Or search Not Another Atheist Podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play to subscribe and leave reviews.
God damn it, I better not be getting fucking sick. I'll kill him.
I don't know which him you're talking to.
I'll kill AJ. That's who I'll kill.
Aw, boyfriend. I got your back.
Boyfriend. That's his new name.
My boyfriend.
Boyfriend. Is that a kitty I see behind you?
Right there.
Hello, boo.
I'm picking up my panties and I'm going home. Okay.